Hello there, my name is Amin Jai, and this is News Review. Thank you very much. And coming up for you on the show today, massive $15 million is stolen from Nawex Ajib bank account. I will speak exclusively to the spokesman of the company there. Also, Gambians have also been reacting to the AstraZeneca vaccine after countries in Europe suspended its use following the death of some people. These and more coming up for you today. But before all of this, we will, I think we'll have to bring you one of the stories there. We will bring you the newspapers a little later. I don't have them now, so we will just go straight to one of the stories that we have. That is the Gambian people reacting to the AstraZeneca vaccine there, following its suspension there by some countries in Europe, following the death of some people there. It is our Usman Jara who went out today to speak to Gambians. Well, this is coming right after the health minister said that, in fact, they will go by what the WHO is saying the vaccine is safe and effective. More in this report.
The COVID-19 pandemic could be described as the most devastating pandemic of the 21st century, which has imprisoned billions of people during its first wave. And this has resulted to people being worried and frustrated. The arrival of 37,000 vaccines of the AstraZeneca COVID vaccines in the country have put smiles on the face of many Gambians. However, the smiles on their faces did not last long as news spread fast on social media that the AstraZeneca vaccine is not effective. Today we are out and about to gauge the opinion of Gambians on this development.
Ndebe mum fala dal ninte drone ten na dimbal ntel tayin tala because nte amante kumuta nte nga munjeje wala nyente ko Afrika nga docteur kendol sotole yetan na wulol kono Afrika wulol sotole wulo mu yalon ko yirol bije yiro mu yalon ko abete yadale halumadu na bolwo kono ike muna fangala asi jata kende asabatinda because nyim borol dol bije ka chemicalol kije chemicalol mu yalon ko na fudunta hadamadu balo kono asi toranole bari bayra nani wulol kono nani Afrika wulol kono wulol bi jall mu yalon ko borol bi je boro mu yalon ko isi muna fon wala sa ay jata kende ha dila ay sima dila ay harje firon dila because alala balu fon lo mu yalon ka jindi hadamo yo dunya kono muna nam buga balu ni yirol la fon ka baru tubabo la nyim borol la boro mu yalon ko ika nyin chemical le ka fama mu yalon ko ala gaso ka siya
nakata eko ni sang ni nyanta ka atama nyanta ka nyim vaccine o tale te be mi nekela
nara mul katama nte wonte man tatama la ali hanin katama nte tatala abana dia ngatu jang bante wonte tatala
man de li sama xelaat moy legi rew yi ñu ëpp doole ñoom ñu ngi koy bañ ñun ñi de wóoru gut nañ ko tek ci suufagum be xam lu leer nañ man de sama bop la wax de man suñu ma forci wut du force kenn duma pengu
so legi su nekkee da nga bëgg tukki ta ñu ne legi so jëlul vaccine yow nak ngay
waaw loolu de wax dëgg yàlla moom mooy beneen problème mooy itam nit ki war a tukki nga ne boo jëlu vaccine bi te vaccine bi gënalu ko loolu de moom wax dëgg yàlla moo jaaxal ñëm nag moo ma jaaxal man mi itam nag
man moom nga si suma xalaat moom kay war nañ ko jël kay ndax vaccine moom kay dafa baax pour nit ku nga xamante ne yow tooguloo yaa ngi dem yaa ngi ñëw moom kay vaccine moom kay su ñëwee moom kay ñun ñëpp war nañ ko jël ñu vaccine ndax lu baax la pour yaram ñu mun a am wér yaram waaw
nit yi wax yi nekk di wax simbul vaccine bi tiitalut la ne like dafa am ay side effect
non man moom kay tiitaruma man moom kay si man moom kay moo ngi safe ndax jaama rek moo fa nekka waa si ñeneen moom kay xaw ma waaye si man moom kay jaama rek moo fa nekka
wax ne lu am la ñu ngi wax ne nekkul lu am understand nga so luy di best thing su dee vaccine bi buñ indi nii because first vaccine buñ indi ñi yaa ngi wax ne fake la understand nga so loolu dafa mën a tey ñu bëri seen xel foo soo ni lu nekkee fake gaa war a indiwaat bii loo foog ne ñu bëri loolu la ñoo foog ne comme dañoo foog ne the same thing la gaa yi dañu nekk di play mind game man su suma xelaat luy di best thing su dee lu nga xamante ne nekkul lu gën si ñun suñ njiit yi ñoo ñu war a jàppale si loolu understand nga because lii tey ñun la moo affect ñun Gambian si understand nga su dee nekkul lu am ñun Gambian la moo affect ñun la moo sonal so luy di best thing suñ guur bi ñoo war a seegaat affaire si seedaat ko ba xam su dee lu nga xamante ne lu gën la pour askan bi you go ahead. So they don't have to look in the askan bi, then you stop ko.
To my take to these vaccines, I think people, I'm advise urging people to take it, because as for me, I already take it. Since His Excellency, the President of the Republic, have already conducted and then all the, I can say half of the military have taken it, and then I'm encouraging each and everybody for our own safety. We just complied, and then we avoid this fake news that it is not good whatsoever. We should avoid that.
So, do you see any side effects from the vaccine after taking it actually?
The side effects are no, I cannot confirm that, because for those who are taking it, maybe if at all they said, oh, this guy is having a corona, and then he take it and then it is recovered, but I did not had such kind of things, so I cannot confirm that. It might be, but to my own understanding and what I believe, we should take it, because hence it is advised by the Ministry of Health. Then we should take it. Then it's not a problem.
With news already coming out regarding the ineffectiveness of the AstraZeneca vaccines, equally as well with countries suspending all vaccination activities relating to the AstraZeneca vaccine. Now the million-dollar question remains, is the government of the Gambia still going to take the risk of vaccinating people with the AstraZeneca vaccine? This is the giant question which still remains to be unanswered. Reporting for the Fatu Network News Review, Usman Jata.
So now the new development, safe and effective, that is what the EU regulator, the drug regulator there of the European Union is saying, backs AstraZeneca vaccine. They are saying that it's safe and secure. So this is a breaking news. This actually came today. And what the European Union drug regulator is saying is that the AstraZeneca Oxford vaccine is safe and effective after several, mostly European countries, suspended its use following reports of blood clots after the jab inoculation. Speaking during a news briefing on Thursday, that is Emma Cook, head of the European Medicines Agency, that's EMA, said the AstraZeneca vaccine is a safe and effective option to protect citizens against COVID-19. So that's the new development there from Europe. So now we'll look at what the newspapers are reporting on today. We'll begin with the Standard, and their lead story is saying Mai blames government inaction for Sanyang incident. Also 5 new COVID-19 deaths, 66 cases reported. Justice Minister wants enforcing anti-skin bleaching law will cause chaos. Consul Jawara urges Gambians to be tolerant. NAMS condemned Sanyang violence, call for swift investigations. Quickly, let's see what they are saying. So in the wake of the recent riot in Sanyang, which led to heightened tension and destruction of private and public facilities after reports that a Gambian youth was killed by a Senegalese, former interior minister has said the failure of government to head both the SIS and police intelligence warnings of simmering tension within communities was responsible for the milieu. That's what my father is saying. 5 new COVID-19 deaths, 66 cases reported. The Gambia yesterday reported 5 new COVID-19 related deaths, bringing the total number of deaths since March 2020 to 158. Well, their latest report, that is today, is saying that 2 more people have died of COVID-19. Now that has taken the total number of deaths to 160. Justice Minister is also warning that enforcing anti-skin bleaching law will cause chaos. So according to Dauda Jallo, was tabling the bill, Skin Bleaching Prohibition Repeal Bill 2020, that seeks to make skin bleaching legal in the Gambia. The bill is under decree number 65 1995 of the criminal law, and it came into force the 1st of January 1996. I wonder if the bill, that is according to, that's a quote there by the Justice Minister, I wonder if the bill was a normal bill, whether it would have passed. It is not a creature of a bill of the National Assembly. I don't know whether if it was a normal bill that goes through normal parliamentary scrutiny, it would have been in our statute books at the moment. Nonetheless, our constitution has adopted some of these decrees as part of the laws of the Gambia, and we are here trying to repeal it. That's according, that's the Justice Minister speaking there. Now let's see what the point is reporting that 30 Senegalese vessels, that's fishing vessels, set ablaze. That's where the Sanyang protest. Their Access Bank customers threaten to close accounts as staff strike. UDP urges investigation into Sanyang incident. GAF, that's Gambia Armed Forces, welcomes Gamkoi 23 back home. So, according to the point, over 30 Senegalese fishing boats were on Monday set on fire by a mob at Sanyang, forcing hundreds of its nationals to flee the community. Furious customers at Access Bank Limited have threatened to close their accounts as staff of the bank yesterday protested, demanding better pay. We'll take a short break and we'll be right back.
Meet Sarah and Tracy from the top 8 finalists of the Be a Star Sierra Leone. Their lives changed from day one. New original songs. Be famous and successful. Be a star in the Gambia.
And the biggest stage right now in Sierra Leone.
Being a part of Be a Star is going a step further in chasing my dreams and my career as an artist.
All you have to do is record a video of you singing your favorite song, not more than 2 minutes long. Send the video by WhatsApp to the following number, 22-99944, using an AfriCell number. State your name and where you're from. Be a winner of a fully recorded album and $500,000. AfriCell Be a Star, your road to success.
Welcome back. So my guest today will be Per Silva, the spokesperson at the National Water and Electricity Company, NAWEC. So yesterday, the 17th of March, the Trumpet newspaper reported that over $8 million, massive, millions of dollars is stolen there from the company's Ajib Bank account. But what much we have now gathered is that it's way more than that. It's over $15 million. How this money got stolen? Well, Mr. Silva is here and he will tell us what really happened. Mr. Silva, thank you very much for coming to our studios.
Thank you, Mr. Njai, for having me.
So, tell us, what happened at your company?
Well, it's not like something happened at the company, but this has to do with the account at the Ajib Bank. There is a special account that we call the Q Power account, where all our Q Power selling transactions funds go into that account. Then around the 10th of March, 2021, our treasury manager realized that some transactions has been done on that account without the authorization coming from NAWEC. And they were able to know that an amount of $15.5 million have been withdrawn from that account. How the withdrawal was done was not coming from NAWEC. Normally, what we do is if we are doing a payment from our accounts in any of the banks that we are doing banking with, we do the transaction through a hard copy. We do the authorization, the request for the bank to debit that account to either a supplier or to somebody that we are paying. Yes. But we do it through a hard copy and send the driver. It is stamped to say it has been dispatched, and when it goes to the bank, it is stamped that it has been received. But this one, the day this email was sent, because it was done through an email, and I know it must be hackers who must have been done through cyber intelligence, that the email was sent very early in the morning, 7 a.m. They were able to forge the stamp that we used to dispatch the letters. They were able to forge the stamp that the bank used to sign that they have received the authorization. They also used the signatures of the treasury manager, our account director, or the financial director, and even the signature of the then director or the former director of Ajib Bank was there. So maybe they were, or they had forgotten to counter check whether it was an authentic authorization document that was coming from NAWEC, and they had to transfer that money to a supplier through 4 local banks, the Senate Bank, Mega Bank, Eco Bank, and Blue Bank. So when we realized that this is something unusual, that this account has been withdrawn from our account through Ajib, we consulted Ajib management, who confirmed that it really happened. So they sent us an email, or they sent the email that was sent to them, which they thought that it was coming from NAWEC. And it's like the email, the hackers use an email that bears the name of our treasury manager, who usually does the transaction whenever we want to do some transaction in that bank. So not counter checking, they thought it was something that was authentic, they did the transactions. But upon knowing that we went to them and they said, yes, it is true that this money has been withdrawn. And they invited the police. The police is aware of that and they are doing the investigation. So that's where we are. We are still waiting for the police to come out with something, if they would recover or if they would know who are the perpetrators.
So you mean your company, yet you do not know, for now you do not know who are responsible, these hackers?
No, we do not know. We do not know, and Ajib as well do not know. I think, as I said, the matter has been reported to the police. They will be using maybe their fraud squad to make some investigations. But as we speak up to now, we haven't got a hint from either the police or Ajib Bank to say these are the culprits or these are the people that we suspected must have been part of that fraud. So we are still waiting. But as I said, it's not much an issue to NAWEC, because we have it is like a contract that we have with the bank to have that account for us, to save whatever funds gets into that bank. So either way, if something unusual had happened, I think they would have been intelligent enough to know that NAWEC has not been doing their transactions through emails. All the transactions that we do in the banks that are saving funds for us are by hard copy.
So by that statement, you are saying that they are responsible, they are to blame for whatever must have happened?
Yeah, we are saying they are responsible because they should be, I think, as a banking company, they should be able to know that this is a company that we have been doing a lot of transactions. And this is the way we do with them, this is the way. And it would have been prudent for them to do a counter checking, to see why is NAWEC now as authorizing or through an email to send this amount of money to 4 different banks. If you suspected something or you don't know why it had happened, it would have been prudent for them to contact NAWEC. But until it's NAWEC that comes to realize, because our treasury manager would always check into accounts every day to ascertain how much money is there, how much money, even if they are making payments, she has to check all the accounts in the banks to see this is the one that has this fund, and the payments of what we are trying to pay should come from this. And she would authorize the accounts officers to say, draw the checks under this bank account. So I think it is something that we have been doing for over years. So maybe it was an oversight that it had happened, but
this money is not seen. I mean, you're going to get since you are holding them responsible.
We don't even have to wait for that assurance from the bank. It's a contract that we give them. And they gave us the assurance when we were opening this account that they would take care of our funds. So if something had happened, it is their responsibility. This is why I'm saying I don't think this is a problem of NAWEC, it's a problem of Ajib.
So has such a thing ever happened at your company where you will have your money go missing, or you have your money get stolen from your account? Has that ever happened in NAWEC?
No. It had
so this
never
is the very
happened.
first time?
Yeah, this is the first time I'm hearing this. There used to be certain things, but these are internal problems, financially. But for somebody to hack and get away with some money or NAWEC's money in one of the banks in the Gambia, I think this is the first time I'm hearing this.
So is NAWEC doing any internal investigation at its own, independent internal at its own level? Because I have, in the Trumpet report, I've seen the issue of local, hackers, if you like, being involved.
Well, I wouldn't dispute that. I wouldn't say yes, because you wouldn't know. Even if there are international hackers, they may have some collaborators locally. Because one would wonder, how would they even use that email? Where would they get the stamp? And if you look at the stamp that is on the email that have used to send to the bank, it's like the stamp that NAWEC uses to dispatch letters. You look at the stamp that Ajib has used to say, okay, we have received, it's the same. So there must be some insiders. Either I cannot preempt, but it's either in the bank or in NAWEC. But as I said, I am not here to say that, because I am not an intelligent officer. It's the fraud squad that should determine this. But our own problem is the email has been sent 7 a.m. Can you imagine 7 a.m. when many people are not at work? The email was sent at 7 a.m. The signatures were done at 7 a.m. The the letter reached the bank at 7 a.m. And you think the treasury manager, the financial director, and even the guy who is looking after account officer at the bank would be at the bank at that very point in time to do all these signatures. So it is something that is beyond imagination. I cannot imagine how did it happen, but it's like, as I say, cyber intelligence can do anything.
So this is the only bank account that you use for your cash power, whatever money that is put on people, put on cash power. Is this the
for
only
Q
bank
Power?
account? For Q Power.
For QCell.
This is for Q.
Yeah, Q Power cash power transactions, the funds that are coming from that account has been created for that. For Q
so this account, how much money go into it like every month? Do you have an idea?
No, I don't have an idea. It depends on the sales that we have every month. But
Estimated,
whoever, Q Power, whoever is doing that that business for NAWEC would pay into that account anytime they have the money to pay. But I cannot, because I'm not in the finance department, but I cannot say how much gets there every month. But what I know is 15.5 million has been evacuated from that account through fraud.
Now you are waiting on the police to get back to you.
We are waiting on Ajib to get back to us, because the police will have to get back to Ajib, and then Ajib will have to
So
come,
it wasn't
come to us.
actually NAWEC who involved the police.
No, what NAWEC did is, when we detected this, we reported the matter to Ajib. And Ajib said, yes, it had happened, and they have involved the police. The police are doing the investigation. So we are waiting, and we're giving them time to tell us this is the outcome of the investigation that has been mounted by the police.
How much time, what is your patience level like? How much time can you give Ajib to do whatever investigation that they need?
Because we cannot,
because investigations in Gambia can sometimes be slow depending on what is in front of you.
Yeah, we cannot give them a timeline, because as we said, it's with the law. The police will have to tell us to wait. We cannot also be in a haste to say we want to get the results as soon as possible. And this is why in some cases I even want to distance myself from giving comments, because it may jeopardize the investigation that the police are doing. But as I said, we are giving them time. What we are going to do is we are going to maybe leave that account for the meantime, not even to put in any sum again until its problem is sorted out.
How does this impact or affect your relationship between Ajib and your company?
Well, Ajib has been doing a lot of business with NAWEC, which has spanned for more than 2 decades. They have been the ones who have been helping us in even bringing some of our meters in this country. They have bought some of our vehicles for us. We had this contract with them. Sometimes they will buy meters, they would buy accessories, they would buy water meters for us. Sometimes when applications are done for service connections, when you are paying for the meter, they ask you to go to Ajib on taxes. So there had been some fruitful cooperation between NAWEC and Ajib. But what we are saying, this is public money, and whoever we are giving you the money to, our own opinion as to what our relationship will be with Ajib until and unless we've got information from the police to say these are the people that are involved, and then maybe NAWEC management together with Ajib will also sit back and then look at the cooperation and maybe look at some of the things that they have been doing together, because NAWEC will not continue to risk giving our money to a company or to a bank where the money is not safeguarded there. Because 15.5 million, if that money is not accounted for, and nobody is taking responsibility, of course, which I think that's going to be Ajib's problem. As I keep on saying this,
yes.
NAWEC will not lose this money.
Yes.
But then it's not good for NAWEC, it's also not good for the company, because if you look at Ajib is a private company is doing business. And it has to win the trust of the people that are putting in the funds into them, without which they cannot prosper.
Yes.
So that's what I'm saying. NAWEC will have to look at it. At the end, when we know the outcome of the investigation, this is where we'll also have to access this cooperation, the contract that we have with Ajib, whether we will continue with them or it's not safe we continue saving our funds with them.
And since this news came out, I've seen claims that NAWEC is a company where you have a lot of people who, fraudsters who engage in fraud and all these dubious things. Is this really true, these claims?
Well, with banks, as I said, this is the first time. But internally, we do have some problems, and I think I have to attest to that, where some of our staff have been found embezzling some of our phones. And what we do our investigation and then come up with some punitive actions. And what we do is we lay them off. Because for us, we don't compromise a staff being paid salary to do a job. You go into defrauding the accounts or the money, the funds that that very company is using to do its own business, to continue doing the service that it's doing, and even paying you salary at the end of the month. So we don't compromise. It do happen, but with the current management, they don't tolerate. It doesn't happen now. It happened sometime. You remember quite a number of some staff were laid off because of they were caught in doing some dubious activities that compromise our funds and all that.
And what is your managing director saying? Is he shocked by this event?
Yeah, I even had an indoor meeting with him this morning. He was really shocked, and he said, well, he would never think that a bank of that magnitude, a bank of Ajib standing, would get into this. But then you never know, with this day and age of the internet and all that, there are people who are more intelligent than even the computers that we're using. So sometimes when they're ready with you, it's sometimes you think you are more intelligent, but the cyber intelligence people, the people who use this internet so much, you cannot predict the way they do things, because maybe it could have happened to you or me. Like you're an authorizing officer at the bank, and somebody is coming from an email which has everything that you thought are the necessary or the required things that need to authorize the bank to do a payment to another bank. The stamp dispatch, the email is there, the treasury manager's name and everything is there. So you maybe sometimes, if you don't take time, you think that maybe NAWEC has changed now. Instead of bringing a hard copy, they're sending an email, I should do the authorization. This is why I said it had required some authentic checking before the real transaction could have happened. But it had happened, and it had happened. So I think we all have to pray that...
Do you know if anyone is arrested within Ajib for negligence, if you like?
Not to my knowledge yet. Not to my knowledge. Of course, I did not speak to Ajib. But I spoke with our finance director this morning. I spoke with the treasury manager. I spoke with MD. But they are saying they haven't got any report that somebody has been apprehended as far as we speak.
As far as we speak.
Yeah.
Now, finally, let me ask you this general question. How is our issue of water and electricity like in the country? Has there been improvement? Because now it is a company that is under massive pressure, really, to deliver when it comes to these two very important things.
But I think Gambians can also can help me answer that question. I think recently we have really improved. With electricity, you hardly see electricity go off. It goes, but maybe for a matter of 1 or 2 seconds, and it comes back. Maybe the problem that we had was water. Water had been a nightmare over the past years, and some people would complain that they wake up very late in the night to look for water. Some will not complain they don't have water for many days, 48, 72 hours. But with the coming up of the Indian project, I think we have drastically improved. There are some people who would even call me. There was one old man at Carnifing Estate who called me one night and say, you know where I am? I am under my shower taking water, and this has not happened for the past 10 years. So there are a lot of improvements. The QCell in the area, the Sukuta area, the Manjai area, and those other areas that have been really disturbed by lack of water are definitely coming up. I even want to do a media walkout with maybe some of the media. I will let you know when I'm done. So that we want to make access the improvement that have been done, the interventions that have been done in the problem that we have with water. And we are really doing well. We already commissioned about 8 boreholes, new boreholes, and there are yet 2 or 3 more to be commissioned. The Indians are doing some finishing touches. Just 2 days back, they were changing the transformer at the treatment plant in Sukota, because the transformer, the size is too small, and it can accommodate the volume at which the water is coming from these boreholes. So they have changed it to a bigger one. And as we speak, there are some areas that still don't have water, but the water department is accessing those areas. You know, the problem is not only about the unavailability of water, but also about the size of the pipe that I think I told you when I came here, the size of the pipe that have been here during the colonial days, during the GUC time. The size of the pipe were buried here when these areas were shanty towns, and people were not living much here, but now Serekunda is overloaded. And people have moved into this area so much so that the size of the pipe has to increase. And we are also looking at this. And also, especially around this area where we were using asbestos pipe to transport water to the people. But we have, checked together. I think they have done the water department together with the World Bank. With the technicians, I've seen that asbestos are health hazardous, and we cannot continue giving water running through asbestos pipes. So it's part of this Indian project that all those asbestos pipes are, and I think 90% of those pipes have already been replaced. So that's where we are. We are pretty sure that maybe in the next 1 or 3 months, the problem of water will be history. And there are a lot of, the OIC project is also here, and part of the funds that they have given to NAWEC is to also improve on water supply. So we are really on course. But for electricity, there are a lot of improvement. Maybe the problem we have with electricity is there are some areas that still don't have a grid, especially in the rural area. And we are talking of by 2025. The UN and our development partners are saying universal access to electricity by 2025.
Yes.
But NAWEC is saying, according to the government, in the next 5 years, we should be able to, maybe by 2020, or in the next 3-4 years, we'll be able to get everybody on board the grid. There are a lot of projects, World Bank projects. We have the ECRI, the GRID, and the JAM project. They are doing a lot of interventions on country.
And I almost forgot, how about the issue of Tibia? Because this is a company that you awarded a multi-million-dollar contract. This is a company that paid $35 million dollars into the account of the First Lady. There was a lot of noise around that, and this company came back and then won this very lucrative contract. And really, people say that there is conflict of interest, that this company bribed its way and through NAWEC.
One thing that we need to understand is projects like the World Bank projects. The funds for those projects are not directly controlled by NAWEC. This is why we have what they call a PIU, Project Implementation Unit, just here. They are the people who are custodians of their funds. And whatever they are doing, whatever contract they are doing on behalf of NAWEC, is that PIU in conjunction with the World Bank consultants who do the assessments of bids that come, who want to bid for any other project. So they use their own parameters to access who they give the contract. They look at the requirements. That is not NAWEC. It's the PIU in consultation with the providers of the fund, which is the World Bank. Now, whether this company had money that they have given to the First Lady, I don't think that is NAWEC's problem. NAWEC is an institution that is tasked with the responsibility of providing this service. And if an institution like the World Bank wants to help, but they help by controlling their funds, and whenever they want to give out a contract, it's their PIU in consultation with their consultants who would float out advertisements to say whoever wants to bid, you bid, but these are the requirements. They also go by those requirements and see if you are fit to do the work on their behalf, and they pay, they'll do it. So now they don't have any control over that.
So do you have any final words regarding what has happened in your company?
Well, my final word is it is unfortunate that this has happened, and this is why it is important that whoever is working, wherever you're working, it's important that you are vigilant in whatever you're doing. It had happened, and I think if there are collaborators who are Gambian citizens, they are doing it to their own self, because NAWEC's money is Gambia's money. All the funds that we have in the bank is for us to use to continue the service that we are providing for the people of the Gambia, electricity, water, and sewage. That money could have been used to expand our network to areas where even those hackers are coming from. So if you steal from a national coffers, you're doing it for your own self, because it's going to retard some of the activities that we have taken upon ourselves to make sure that we do some extensions to areas that are yet to benefit from our service. It had happened. As I said, there is not much we can do. We're waiting on Ajib and the fraud squad or the police to do a thorough investigation and try to see where does it happen and who are the culprits. So that I think the bank together with those, whoever is involved, the stakeholders would learn from that, because it's a lesson that they must learn. And as I said, NAWEC is also going to access its collaboration with all these private banks to see where do they put their funds, how safe these banks are, and how safe our funds are in those banks. And we will assess to see can we even go with all these banks in this country to save money, or can we go tell them to the ones that we think are safe for us to do banking with them. I think it is very important that we look into that. Yeah.
It's a pleasure, Selva. Thank you very much. Appreciate it for coming to our studios.
Thank you, Mr. Njang. It's my pleasure.
Speak on this very important issue there. So that was Mr. Silva, who is the spokesperson or the public relations officer of National Water and Electricity Company. He was my guest today. Thank you very much. We'll back.